Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Yes, it's still snow outside, but either way, get ready because it's Wednesday and that is spooky animation. But let's start with greetings. Come on. Hello, my name is Daniel. I'll be your host here.
Guy in the chair.
And today for spooky animation, we'll be watching hypnosis, however you say it, hypnotic hypnosis therapy therapist. So enjoy. So enjoy.
I've been suffering from
Hypnotherapist.
severe anthropophobia for almost 10 years. I didn't even remember the last time I stepped out of my room. I just avoided people like I was avoiding shit. My mom used to say my gravestone would read, "Does anybody know me?" So one day, I finally made up my mind to receive hypnotherapy. Searching on the internet, I found a hypnotherapist and visited his house. I didn't know then it was the door to hell. The hypnotherapist welcomed me with a big grin, which looked like he was stretching his mouth side to side rather than smiling. The pupils of his eyes were as dark as the inky blackness itself, and it felt like his eyes were about to suck my soul like a black hole. There were a lot of pictures hung on the wall along the entryway. In the pictures, he was hypnotizing. However, the expressions of those being under hypnosis looked weird. Their mouths were ridiculously wide open, and their eyes were rolled back. I couldn't figure out whether they were laughing or screaming. Above the pictures, it was written, "Once you walk into John's paradise, you can't walk away." John was the name of his hypnotherapist. I was a bit leery of walking into the office and thinking about going back. At that moment, I heard the voice, "Come and lie down on the sofa." That voice made me unconsciously go to the sofa and lie down on it. "Close your eyes. You are going to lose all your strength." As soon as I heard his voice, all my strength faded away in a moment. I just laid there thinking, is this really hypnosis? And I began to get scared. You see an emerald green sea and hear the sound of seagulls. You feel the warm sunshine with a pleasant breeze touching your cheeks. There are beautiful women enjoying a beach party around you and all kinds of delicacies. How do you feel? Immediately with his words, the picturesque scenery of a beach appeared right in front of my eyes, and it felt like I was really there. I couldn't help but smile and exclaim in spite of myself, "This is paradise!" This time he said, "However, the gravity of this beach is 50 times greater than that of the earth. Now your body is going to be drawn deep into the ground by the mass of gravity." Then, it felt like my whole body was being trampled by a giant rock. Somebody help me! I struggled to get out, but my body didn't move at all. "Let me out, you bastard son of Satan!" I cursed him frantically in terror. A little later, it became like even my mouth and tongue were completely restrained by the gravity. I could barely utter a groan. Then, he whispered in my ear, "Want me to make it heavier, or will you just shut up?" I got quiet quick. "From now on, you just do as you're ordered. You understand? Welcome to John's paradise." I felt my tears rolling down my cheeks. From that day, I enjoyed pleasure all day long in his fake paradise. I had the finest foods, lobster, steak, caviar, and other fancy stuff, all which tasted exactly the same as the real things. And I enjoyed a party with beautiful girls. I felt really good, even happy. At night, I fell asleep and dreamt of flying through the sky all day. But soon, I heard his voice saying, "Open your eyes." My eyes suddenly opened wide. It was morning. I saw him grinning right in front of my face. His face made me mad and I was about to throw a punch. But at that moment, he said, 50 times gravity. And on that word, my body was pulled back and got thrown to the bed. I couldn't even move a finger. I was extremely furious and wanted to cuss him out, but the words were just running through my mind. I couldn't move my lips. I just kept shedding tears. Lightly shaking his head, he said, "You still try to resist. You have to clear your mind. Now, no thought is allowed to exist in your brain. As soon as he said that, every single thought in my mind was just gone. I couldn't think or feel anything. I just became calm, peaceful. From that point on, I became his prisoner and slave. After a few days, a man came in. He was big and burly. He came to receive therapy for his depression. I had no idea how much time had passed. John called me in, and I saw the guy stiffly lying on the sofa with his eyes frantically rolling. John then ordered me to bring an axe. I was scared, but my body picked up the axe regardless of my will, automatically reacting to his voice. Look at the guy's flesh. It would make the most tender and flavorful steak. Go and bite it off. It will taste the best meat ever. Suddenly, the guy lying down began to look like a chunk of meat, and I became filled with a strong desire to taste it. I could almost feel the taste of juicy steak. My mouth began to water. The lying guy struggled to come out of hypnosis. His eyes were bloodshot as if they were almost going to burst. The blood vessels of his whole body swelled, and his body was trembling violently. As he couldn't speak, he groaned like an animal. And John, this time, told the guy pointing at me, "He's sneering at you. You know why you're suffering from depression? Because of him. Punish him, and your depression will be cured." Then, the guy stood up and immediately rushed at me. He threw a punch at me, and his fist broke my facial bone and teeth. If I was who I used to be, I would have ran away or given in to him right away, not fighting against him. But in that moment, he seemed like a delicious chunk of meat, and that's it. I swung the axe, and we violently fought like wild animals in the savannah. Luckily, my axe was plunged into his neck, and he collapsed with blood splurting out of it. Enraptured as if I slaughtered a cow, I was about to take a bite of his flesh. At that moment, John's jubilant shout hit my eardrums. Whoa! It sounded like a primitive tribe shouting for joy after their great success in hunting. He danced around in excitement, and soon shivered. He shouted out loud, "Life and death are under my control!" On his shout, I suddenly came back to my senses, and I realized what I had done. Then, I wet myself standing there. Frowning at me, he shouted, "Hey, Mr. Champion, do not excrete without my permission." He sent me to the toilet. When I came back, the dead body disappeared. Since then, I had been sick in bed for a week and barely came back from the dead. After some time, while I was lying on the bed, the police rushed her. John was already involved in a number of murder and missing persons cases. The police searched the entire house and found some bloodstains and evidence here and there, but they couldn't find John. Although they kept asking me who messed up my face like that, I stayed lying in bed in silence, just staring at the ceiling. At that moment, a voice came from somewhere. "Welcome to John's paradise. Close your eyes. You are standing on the beach, enjoying the warm and nice sunshine." When two of the police were about to close their eyes, the remaining one shouted, "Open your eyes! Don't be fooled!" John's voice was still coming out of a speaker mounted on the wall. "You are losing all your strength. Listen carefully to the sound of waves and seagulls on the beach. It's perfectly peaceful." The speaker was singing the sound of waves as well, together with his voice. Finally, with their eyes half closed and legs turning to jelly, they began to stagger wobbly from side to side. "Open your fucking eyes! This is not a beach! Son of a bitch!" They kept swearing. John's voice from the speaker continued, "This is the paradise. Clear your mind for just this moment. Lie on the beach and get some sweet rest." His slow and gentle voice made them lie on the floor one by one. A few minutes later, all of them lay around on the floor, with smiles on their faces. Their faces and postures looked absolutely relaxed. At that moment, I heard the sound of trampling feet. Stepping towards them, John said, "Now all of you are under deep hypnosis. What you have to do is only to obey my orders. All right? Open your eyes. You have water guns in your hands. Now, it's time to have some fun with your friends." Then, they picked up their handguns with naive smiles. John said, "On the count of 3, you will shoot each other with your water guns. It will be so much fun. 3, 2, 1. Bam! with his shout.
Er,
They shot their guns at each other and their blood splattered everywhere, and they all collapsed. I trembled with fear and began to lose my breath. John told me with a generous smile, "Do not be scared, child. I'm just saving people from this filthy world." Then he left the house, bringing me along with him. For several months since then, we wandered around various places and continued to lure and hypnotize people. And I had another 5 fights. In my second fight, I lost some of my toes. And in the fourth fight, my ears were torn. In the fifth fight, my enemy poked out my left eyeball and ate it up. In every fight, I was nearly on the verge of death. But fortunately, I survived anyway. But my body was totally ravaged by continued fights, and I became unfightable. So, John sent me to jail in place of him. I told the police that I was under hypnosis, but of course they didn't believe me. And John is still at large. But I am happy now in prison. Although I am behind bars, I finally got out of his control and regained my freedom. Now I can control my body as I want. When I open my eyes every morning, I shout loudly, shedding tears of joy. I'm alive! I'm alive! I know he's still out there continuing to do his awful deeds. But I don't know anyone who can stop him. If there's anybody who's going to try to catch him, I will warn you. As soon as you face him, your soul will be possessed by him, and you will never get it back.
Hey, and that was creepy. That's why y'all don't trust in hypnosis. Hypnotherapist. No, I don't think it's real. But who knows? How much shake? Yeah, I don't even know. It's like my head's doing a thing. But it may not be doing videos, so I don't know. But either way, I don't trust that. You get to go ahead and sleep. That nonsense. But like I shared, do all that good jazz. But I'll leave you with this. I hope you had an awesome night and the rest of the day goes really well. And I'll see you in the next video. Grow a drink or tomorrow. Bye.